let's transform a cardboard box into a barrel that's perfect for Halloween costumes, party decor, or a vacation Bible school. For materials, we need a cardboard box, a marker, and duct tape. For tools, we will want a straight edge, something to measure with, a pencil, an X-Acto knife, scissors, and an eraser. Gather your supplies and let's build a barrel in 10 easy steps. Cut the box open so that way we can lay it flat with the inside of the box facing upwards. You can trim any excess tape off the box if you want, but most of it will get covered up in the process. This is the hardest part mentally of this project. With many boxes, we will have two sizes of the sides of the box. And what we want to do is we want to divide those sides into slats. So we have to do a little bit of planning so that way we can get the width of the slats to be pretty equal. Now my measurements are about 8 inches and about 13 inches, which are very challenging numbers because they don't divide very well. If they were both even numbers, I can make my slats 2 inches wide, or if it were 8 and 12, I could do 3-inch wide slats. However, these numbers don't really have any great common denominators, but that's okay because we can fudge the numbers a little bit. For me, I decided to go with a measurement that was about 2.5 inches wide. Once you know how wide to make your slats so they're all about the same width, we'll want to mark along the edge with our measuring tool. You can measure at both sides of the box and then connect the two marks together to get a straight line. In my case, I have this straight edge with a square type thing at the end. Can't remember what this tool is called. But anyways, I'm going to use this to create a right edge and use just the one mark that I made and say that's good enough for me. When we mark the slats, we want to mark over the entire length of the box. So from flap on the top side all the way to flap at the bottom. Now I'll use my X-Acto knife to cut through one side of the box. What I mean by that is I'm only punching through the top surface of the box. I'm not going through to the back side. When you cut these lines, you'll get best results if you create a really nice straight line. So if you want to be really precise, you can use your straight edge to hold your X-Acto knife along it when you cut. I just decided to score the slats free-handed. So you see how when we look at the other side, it's still intact? That's what I'm meaning about just scoring the one side and not cutting all the way through the box. When we score these lines, we just need to get the middle section. I find it's easiest if I overlap the flats a little bit, but we don't have to score the entire length of the box. Another important thing, the box corners, we want to score these too. If your math numbers didn't work out very nicely, as is my case, we want to pay attention to if one slat is wider than the other. And if one slat is significantly wider and one's a lot thinner, we want to make our score further away from the narrow slat and closer in on the wide slat just to even things out. Now I'm going to the edges of the flaps and I'm going to mark an equal distance on either side of those lines that we already made. The bigger distance apart you make the marks, the greater inward bend of the barrel, meaning it'll get narrower and be steeper of an angle. Generally what I find is if I mark a 1/4 inch in either direction of the line, that measurement tends to work out pretty well. But feel free to use a wider measurement like a 1/3 or a 1/2 inch, or go even smaller if you're making a really tiny cardboard barrel. Once I've marked on both sides of the flat, I'm going to use my straight edge to connect from that mark to the crease of where the flaps bend at the box. The only spot where we're not going to create these wedge shapes is where we have the gaps between the flaps. Think of when the box was fuller where the corners were and how there's a bit of spacing between the flaps. Those spaces, we're just gonna leave those be. For cutting out the wedges, I like to use scissors if at all possible. If I'm doing a really big box that has longer flaps, I sometimes need to use the X-Acto knife to help, but on a box this size, the scissors work great. I can cut in there, and with these wedges, we're cutting them out completely, so we're not scoring like we did earlier, we're removing them completely. This next step is kind of optional. I just think it looks cleaner if I erase all the pencil marks. We're getting really close to the end, and this is where I like to add a wood grain look to the box. I think it just adds an extra bit of dimension to it. I like to go very haphazard with my lines. I find when I make marks that are less planned, it ends up looking a lot more natural. I like the look of adding knots into the wood, and for that I just make swirls and circles and just make my lines kind of curve around those knots. Now that I think about it, I wonder if it's bad for an actual wooden barrel to use boards that have knots in them. I wonder if that would cause problems for the barrel. Either way, I don't know. We're just going for the aesthetic here. I'm going to mark the entire length of the box, going all the way from one flap to another. And when I mark, I'm only marking between the scores, because I'm thinking of between the scored lines as being its own piece of wood, so I'm not going to have the wood grain cross over those scored marks. Now it's time to bend the barrel into shape. I'm going to bend it at those scored marks, and by cutting that one side, it means we can bend it really easily, and since the other side is still intact, it's all going to stay together. We're kind of rolling up the cardboard at this point. One end of the barrel has that extra flap that looks totally different, and that was what held the box together when it was in box form. I'm going to hang on to that flap just because it makes assembly easier. However, the other end where that flap had attached, if it looks too like yucky, you can cut that off, which is what I did. When you fold it up, you have to assess if you like the size it's at. If you think it's too wide around and want to make it narrower, you will need to cut off extra slats. And now this is the hardest part of the project physically. We're going to start at one end of the flaps, and y'all, a helper makes this part easier by a long shot, but it can be done on your own, as you're going to see me do here. When we tape, we want to try to keep the bottom edge of the tape perpendicular to the slats, and we want about 1/3 of the tape width overhanging the top. When I tape, I'm going to first tape one flap, and then I'm going to bend the next flap towards it so that way the edges line up. I want to fold them together until there is no gap between the edges. Once they're lined up, I'm going to tape the next flap. Again, trying to keep the base of the tape evenly going around. So it's going to be parallel to the base of the barrel and perpendicular to the slats. And then I will repeat this all the way around. So those wedges that we cut out earlier are what make the ends go inward. And so this should give you an idea of how if you cut them narrower, they won't go in as much. If you cut out really wide wedges, they'll go in a lot more. You do want to be careful with this step because it's really easy for things to get really messy and sloppy looking, but it's okay if your barrel is not perfect. Because remember, we're making a barrel out of cardboard. This is a very casual endeavor, not at all a precise project. Once I've made it all the way around, I'm going to cut my tape so I have a little bit of overlap with where I started, and then I'm going to fold that extra 1/3 that was hanging over to the inside of the barrel. With my first end taped up, I'm going to go to the opposite end and do the same exact process. Once I have both ends taped together, that's really going to create the shape of the barrel and hold it together, but we can also tape around the creases of the box where I'm showing you there, and this will give a little extra stability to the barrel, as well as hiding the bigger gaps from the flap gaps, so the spots where we didn't cut out the wedges and there was just already a space. And then once you tape it all up, you are done and your barrel is complete. These barrels are great as a standalone item for party decorations. I'm thinking along the lines of a Western-themed VBS, a Pirates of the Caribbean-themed Halloween party, or a video game-themed birthday party. Donkey Kong, anyone? You can also upgrade these barrels. You've seen how I added a Donkey Kong cutout and taped it on the barrel. The smaller barrel can also be upgraded into an accessory for a Kirby Halloween costume. Run a dowel through the barrel, tape a cardboard circle on both open ends, and attach a star for this fun prop. These barrels also work great for interactive decor. First, I turned the big one into a usable drink dispenser. Punch a hole through the side at the height of the spigot, put the jar inside the barrel, and reassemble the spigot pieces securely. Then add punch or water to the jar and enjoy. Another creative use is to put Halloween candy inside a small barrel. This makes for a fun way to hand out candy to trick-or-treaters. Pair it with a Donkey Kong costume, pirate costume, or whatever character you want, and this will add an extra dimension to your Halloween activities. Whatever the application for your cardboard barrel might be, I hope you have fun making and using this project. Happy crafting!